Okay, so I believe we are live. Should I get started? Okay, so yeah, perfect. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Wajadzia and I'm a software developer at Remote and with me I have Edidiong here. She's just give me a second. Yeah, she is a data scientist at Dubai Aviation and FlyDubai. Hi, Edidiong, how are you?
Hi, Waterheart. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing perfectly fine. Okay, so basically, the session we have planned here is based on why get into tech. And before I get started, let me give a brief introduction so our audience is on the same path as we are on for the talk. So basically, in the recent times, you've seen in the past 2 to 3 years that technology has seen a boom in almost every aspect that we can see, from software to hardware and everything. And it has been understood that the future is in technology here. Before technology, there was a boom for oil industry where like everyone wanted to work in oil industry. They wanted to get a job in an oil based company out there in, like, it could be Middle East or it could be Americas. So that was one phase of the world that we were in, but now I believe that technology has a big influence on over our daily lives and what our future will shape up as. So, with that into account, basically the first question that I want to ask here is, why would anyone actually want to get into tech? Like, what would be their motivation behind it, and what do you think? Like, why would someone want to get into tech, basically?
Okay, Waterheart, you've actually answered a bit of that question by, talking about how tech industry is booming and how oil and gas that used to be like the in thing, is now, becoming a thing of the past.
Yeah,
And with reasons like this, people actually would want to be a part of that future. Tech is
yeah,
not just, our future, it's also actively our present. Some of the technologies, advances in engineering we're seeing today, it's all because of technology. 10 years ago, some of the tools we see today wasn't present. Today we are talking about self-driving cars, we're talking about amazing technologies, and this is all courtesy of technology. And this means that if technology has played a major role in our present today, this means that it's going to definitely play even a bigger role in our future, shaping that future. And so the question is, what is the future that we want to see? We actually want to see a future that is diverse. So this is why we need more people to come into technology, people of different colors, different from people from different cultures, religions, tribes, to come into tech and be a part of what is actually happening. And to be very, very frank, there are amazing opportunities that abound in technology. Just like you said, it's booming. So if it's booming, this means that opportunities will continue to arise and abound in this field. And people who are equipped or empowered with tech skills, we will definitely be able to take up these opportunities. So I think it's a great opportunity for everyone.
okay, so like you said, like tech is basically the future here, but do you think that over the time people might lose interest into it, or like, for example, like people might feel it's invading their personal lives on a greater level than it is right now? So do you think people might lose interest and find a new, what do you say, topic to go towards in the future?
I really do not think so. I do not think so. It's constantly changing, constantly evolving, into new fields. It's just like, let me say, machine learning. It came as machine learning, and then it began to evolve into deep learning. So
Yeah.
it comes with, and with this evolution comes innovation, and this innovation leads to endless possibilities that could lead to more innovation. So I really do not think that we would get to that point where people kind of get tired, of technology. We would constantly be sucked into it because it is a major tool we cannot do without.
Yep, I totally agree with you. And before I move forward, I would like to introduce Cynthia Peter, that has just joined the call. She's a developer advocate here at the Rate company, if I'm saying the company name right. How are you, Cynthia?
Hi, hello.
Um,
Very well, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So Cynthia, we were discussing on the question like, why would anyone want to get into tech? Like, what are your opinions about this question, and like, what do you believe? Like, why
Um,
should someone get into tech?
okay, I think, well, I'll start with one of my reasons. One of my reasons
Yeah.
for getting into tech is basically the flexibility that comes with being in tech, right? Right from time, I've always known I didn't want to be like the stay at home person or wake up in the
Mhm.
morning, go to the bank, then come back by 8 p.m. for how it works
Mhm.
here. So I just wanted a career that puts me in a way of hey, I can be working from a beachfront today, and tomorrow I can be working from I don't know, a gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very, very spontaneous. So I want a new environment every day. So tech gives me that opportunity to be able to live differently, and that's the most amazing thing. Now, aside from that, I think the opportunities, the fact that I get to meet lots of people, like for every event, you're meeting new faces. There is no other career path that puts you in front of lots of events. All right,
I agree.
and the rate at which people grow is kind of faster
Mm-hmm.
compared to every other stack. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe because um, for myself, the way I've grown in the past few years is not something I would have done if I was doing something else. So yeah, the growth level, the speed of growth, the opportunities are limitless, and you can easily just hop in between. If you're in a medical line, you can't easily hop from being a pharmacist to a medical
Yeah, of
doctor.
course. Like you
But
need to be
yeah,
hands-on in those career
you get
paths.
but for a career in tech, you can be for myself, I was a Flutter developer in 2019, 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and before 2020 ended, I was working as a technical writer, and before 2021 ended, I was in DevRel, right? So the long list of opportunities is just limitless. So yeah, that's like some of the major reasons for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with the point that right now where technology is at, it has limited potential, and with that, also like I believe like technology has given us the people who are working in technology a way to flexibly work in their professional life and as well as in their personal life. Like as you said, like someone can go to the gym and do his career from there as well. He can work from there. Like he does not have to get bound to a 9 to 5 job for per se. So that's one
Yeah.
thing I really believe, and it empowers a lot. I believe that technology right now is empowering a lot of women as well as all the people around there. But what do you believe, like where does technology actually give us an advantage over other fields out there?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is like, what is the one major thing in technology, like in tech, that has a big, what do you say, advantage over all the other career paths out there?
The flexibility. I think
The
that's
flexibility.
number one thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
we can
for
see.
now, tech is
Yeah,
like careers in tech are the only things you can do, and you can do it from anywhere. Like it's just the flexibility. That's like top for it. That's the top.
okay, perfect, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
also we before I again move forward with the talk series, I think Adora Nwodo has also joined us. She's a software engineer at Microsoft. Hi, Adora.
Hi, hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Yeah,
everyone.
it's really pleasure to have you on this call. And how are you?
I'm doing well. Not 100% okay. I'm recovering from an illness, but apart from that, I'm
Oh,
fine. And it's nice to be here and see everyone. Hi,
okay, okay.
Edidiong.
Hi,
Sorry,
Adora.
your voice.
Hello, Adora. Sorry about your health. I hope you get well soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Adora, I would like to ask you the same question that I started with my other speakers as well. That why would someone want to get into tech in this age right now?
Um, I To be honest, I feel like if you are not in tech, if you're not working in a tech company, whatever you are doing is something that at this point in this phase of our lives, I guess, is
Mm-hmm.
tech enabled. Um, so why should you be in tech is because the first reason, apart from, a lot of people will talk about the fact that there's so many opportunities that working in tech gives you and things like that. One very important thing I want to say is that that's where the world is going. And to be honest, you don't want to be left behind. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so really, why not?
Okay, so basically, like if we don't go towards this path, we will actually get left behind in this world. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes, because the world is moving and that's the direction that we're all going. So
Yeah,
basically
I
just
totally. I totally agree. Like if we don't stay up with the times, then of course we will get left behind so far behind that we will cease to exist in a very like in a concise form, if I like to put it. And so
Yeah,
yes, technology is the future. Like Cynthia, like Edidiong said, like tech is more the future. It's the present as well. Like in the
yes,
current times that we
it's already
exist,
here,
technology.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more.
Sorry.
It's already here, and it's
Yeah.
also more in the future. So why not?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I believe there are no disadvantages to get into tech. Like it's an open field for all everybody out there. And so yeah, tech is definitely like something everyone should think about getting into. But and if I follow up my question from there, like how would like someone get into tech? Like I do understand like why would someone want to get into tech, but like does someone need a degree or some certain skills to get into tech, or anyone can actually like just think about, he can just wake up one day and be like, okay, I want to get into tech, and then it's a career path for them from there onwards? Like is it that easy, or it's is it a bit hard?
Well, I'll
Um,
start. Okay, so your question is why how someone can get into tech,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I would say that there are actually so many paths to get into tech. The very first question you should ask yourself is what kind of problem do you want to solve? Because when we talk about technology, tech itself was born out of purpose and it's the need to solve a problem. And so,
Mm-hmm.
whatever path you're taking in tech, you'll be solving a problem. So, the question is what kind of problems are you passionate about solving or what do you want to solve? And then based on there, you would actually know what languages or programming tools that you would need, to empower you with the skill to solve that problem. And another thing that you would need to understand is that you do not need to become a genius for you to get, into tech. You do not also need to have a computer science degree to
Mm-hmm.
get into tech or have a strong science or mathematics background. And you also need to understand that you may not also, be very good at coding, and that's okay because we actually have tech roles that do
Mm-hmm.
not require coding in any form, maybe product managers or project managers, graphic designers. And I think Cynthia herself is a technical writer, and you may not need all of that. What you actually need to do is to be passionate, be passionate, be committed, and as well, you have to be willing to learn. And you also need to, be able to network with people. LinkedIn is actually a great tool, to let them
Yep.
to network with people, meet so many people, and also get reference and recommendations from people. Another thing you would need would be maybe to build a profile, depending on whatever field you're going into. The essence of profile is not just to copy and paste projects, but to be able to show how passionate you are, about learning the particular tool. And also for that portfolio, you need to be able to talk about the projects that you have worked on, the objectives of those projects, and what the outcome was, and what you could have done differently, based on new knowledge that you have. So these are some ways that you could get into tech. And while you're learning, you can go ahead to look at applications, job applications in those fields, like job vacancies, and see what are the requirements. Because sometimes if you look at them, they have a major requirement, a common requirement, sorry. So look at those requirements and see how you can build on most of those requirements. And when it's time for you to apply, do not wait to have 100% of the skills before you start applying. If you can meet 70% of the requirement, that's okay because the other 30% is for growth.
Okay, perfectly fine with that. And Cynthia, would you like to add something on that?
um I think she said everything already because when most times you mention going into tech, people think it's a myth and people think it's so hard. I mean, it's hard obviously, but
Of course.
it's not as hard as they think it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I when I use myself for example a lot. When I speak to my younger siblings, I tell them, yeah, I appreciate that you're doing whatever you're doing in school and it's cool, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
you should have at least one skill because just like Adora said, that's where the whole thing is going. So even as a medical doctor, it will get to a point where having a skill in computer science or being able to operate a couple of machine or maybe analytics or anything would be an added requirement, right? So you
Okay.
should be able to learn towards that time, right? So even if you feel like, okay, yeah, you don't want to do the core coding, or you don't want to do the core, whatever, be able to acquire a skill that would complement whatever you're doing, because it will come to that time where it would be like a need to have criteria, not a good to have anymore. And at that time, it's going to be pretty late for you to jump into it. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when someone asks me like what I actually do, they have a what do you say, pre-consumption about the idea that I only do code all the time. Like I'm sitting in front of a laptop and my job is to just code, but that's not actually what really happens here. It's a lot about intercommunication. Like you have to sync up with a lot of people, you have to grow together, and most importantly, there are also non-technical roles in this what do you say, career field over here. Like people can actually do a lot of things without even coding a single line of code here. So yeah, that's a misconception a lot of people have. And if, like as Edidiong said, if people go up there and look at the job requirements, they will actually find out that everyone has a place there to work,
Yeah.
I believe. And so with that said, Adora, would you like to add anything on top of this?
Not much to be honest, but just lay emphasis on a few things that have been said. I think Edidiong and Cynthia have said everything. I've hit the nail on everything. Um, but one thing I want to add is that, like other companies that exist, FMCGs, or oil companies, tech companies are also companies, meaning that they need these other skills to run. So even if when people talk about being non-technical in tech, they are not only talking about things like maybe being a PM or a technical writer or all these other things. We still need HR. We still need
Yeah, of course,
admin
yes.
people. We still need business developers. We still need these kinds of people. What this means is that, well, even if you are a medical doctor, like Cynthia said, there's no reason why, as a medical doctor, you can't work in health tech. There's no reason why, as a lawyer, you can't be a tech lawyer. So there's really space for every single person that exists, like every single person. So if this is something that you are interested in doing, reach out to people that have done it, seek wise counsel, create a plan, and start your transition.
Yes, totally agree with that. And before, like, I think we're coming to the last minutes of our talk session here. So, one thing that I want to ask before I wrap this up is that what is one piece of advice you would like to give the audience? Like, I will ask one piece of advice from each one of you before people jump into this tech realm we have over here. Like, what is one piece of advice you would want to give the audience over here? Starting from Eddie Young.
Well, I would say that one thing I would advise people to do is do not compare yourself to other people, especially for people who are starting out to learn. You would see people say that they learned how to code or program or build an application in just 3 weeks. And this is you at 3 months or 3 years, you're still struggling to learn the basics. You just need to understand yourself, understand how you learn, and do not try to compare yourself with other people. Stay consistent, do not give up, and understand that all you need to do is just keep moving forward. Forward is forward, and don't go backward.
Absolutely. Cynthia?
I think I'll start with IWD teams for this year. Progress, not perfection, right? So most of the time we start our journey and we think once you open your PC, watch a couple of videos or finish a course, you should be perfect at whatever you do. Myself, I'm beginning to realize that there's more to wit than perfection. So it's just practice makes better. It's more like that than perfect, because no one ever gets perfect, right? Because
Mhm.
whatever software technology you're learning today, it gets an upgrade, and tomorrow you need to learn whatever was upgraded. You need to be able to adjust. So nobody has it all. We are all just learning. So it's more like a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like if you don't stay up to date with the developments that are happening in technology, you will be left behind in this field as well. So I totally agree with that. And Adora, would you like to also say something about this?
Um, like I said before, right? Two things I want to say. The last thing I want to say: seek wise counsel is the first one. I think it's really important. whatever it is that you're doing, it's important to try to ask for advice from people that have gone before you. Make sure that you are always teachable, meaning that you are open to learning things, because no matter how much wise counsel you seek, if you are not someone that wants to listen to that wise counsel in the first place, then it's not going to have any impact on your life. Also, make sure that you have a plan and you are intentional about all your decisions and all the moves you are making when it's time for you to take that step that allows you transition.
Absolutely agreed with that. You need to keep an open mind and be flexible in your learning aspect as well. Like you need to be open to the fact that you can learn from someone who's higher up than you and who's lower than you as well. So it's an open channel for everybody. And with that, I would like to say thank you to all three of you who took out the time to join this session. It was a lovely session. I enjoyed a lot. Like for me, it was a learning experience here as well. So it was a pleasure. And thank you so much, Edidiong, Cynthia, and Adora for taking up the time.